Hello everyone, it is Nancy Taylor here with tips for your mock class 1. I was gonna say 2 because it is the second lesson. This is My Country, My Culture. I'm going to go through and show you how I teach each slide and then also give you tips along the way. The reason why I'm not in the actual classroom with the actual PowerPoint in front of me is because I want to keep that confidential for VIPKID and respect their work. That's their work. I will share teaching strategies and tips and so things that you learn as you're teaching ESL and teaching online. Let's get started. My biggest tip for your level 4 is what this is now. Originally it was a level 3, but now level 4 is for My Country, My Culture. Be sure that you still use TPR. I'm still using gestures, having the student interact. I'm still giving high fives. It is not just read and answer this question because your mock class mentor will be so bored. They'll be so sad. I'm looking for extension questions. I want to create a conversation. It is very different than the scripted level 2 letter X. That is very scripted. You stick to these words because that's all they know. Now they have 2 years of English, so I can add in some more things. My incidental language is not as much of a concern. So the very first slide, introduction. Hello. My name is Teacher Nancy. Teacher Nancy. What is your name? Nice to meet you, Ava. How old are you? Great. How was school today? Good. Today we are learning my country, my culture. Country. Country. If you want to keep it very scripted, hello, my name is, what's your name, and then how are you or how old are you? And then today we are going to learn about my country, my culture. Keep it simple. I just wanted to show you that this is a conversation. It is not as scripted. These students want to talk. They want to converse and practice their English. So make it a conversation. Just keep that in mind. Okay, the very first slide, it has my country at the top and then it has the word country. You always circle the red word first and say it first for pronunciation and because that is their vocabulary word. In the level 5s, your focus is the top 5. It's the give me 5, okay? So number 1, vocabulary. I teach the vocabulary. I read the vocabulary. I'm correcting if they've mispronounced words, I'm correcting them. And then I define. So I define after we've read everything, I correct any mispronunciations or misread words, and then I extend. I ask them a question on it. And I'll show you this high 5 here on this first slide. So, country. Can you read? Here, we'll have the student be Dino. Here's the student reading. China is my country. It is the land where I was born. Good. Where? Good job. A country is a nation of people. Language. Culture, land, and government. Good job. Where do you live? In China? Awesome. I did the 5, vocabulary, country. Then I had the student read the sentence and then I corrected the word where. They said were, it was where. And then we defined country. I had TPR, I had the student interacting with me, and 5, I extended by asking where do you live? Done. All right, next vocabulary word, flag. Flag. Cloth. Cloth. Mom. Represent. Mom. Yes. Mommy. Represent. Mommy. She finds me no matter where I am. Mommy. Yeah. Mommy. Yes, Ava? Mommy. Yes, honey? Mommy. Can you read? Mommy. This is the flag of My country, it's behind you guys. A flag is a piece of cloth that can represent a country. Can anyone relate? Peace. Good job. And on the next one, the next slide, I will define what represent is. So I'm not going to define it on this first slide of China. So we go to the next slide, and it's the picture of the American flag. So here, I don't need to go back over flag. They've already seen that word. Even though it's in red, I am aware that I've already taught it. So I just circle, I put it like a box by the, or this, or underline the line. Can you read? This is the American flag. It represents America. Good job. This is the sentence that your mock class mentors prefer. A lot, this is in the teacher directions, represent equals stands for. However, students take this literally and they'll stand up. They'll stand up. And your mock class mentor may stand up. And you're thinking, wait, that was in the teacher directions. They have changed it in the new curriculum. So I would use this sentence, just a heads up, it will help you out. When I see this, I think of America. This flag represents America. Can you say that? Good job. Now the next slide, a lot of teachers will spend 2-3 minutes on this. No. There are 5 pictures. If the student understands represent, then I move on. Once they show that they understand the concept, we move on. So I don't have to do all of them. And I don't have to worry about them saying puma. If they say tiger, good, go for it. And they're using represent. I'll show you. I circled a big M. When I see the M, I think of McDonald's. Can you say that? When I see, good. The M represents McDonald's. Yes. What does this represent? And I circled a Nike sign. Yes. This sign represents Nike. And if they say, I don't know, I say this sign represents Nike. I will do maybe one more picture and maybe I will do the car or maybe I'll do the Chinese language. It's up to you. You don't need to do all of them. If you do all of them, great. It's Puma on the bottom right, Mercedes. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. If they say car, go for it. If they say Chinese, that's fine. They don't have to say Chinese language. It's not as scripted. My focus is that they say this represents this, or this sign represents this. This picture represents this. The M represents McDonald's. I want them to say that sentence. And to understand what represent means, I'm using when I see blank, I think of blank. In the teacher directions, it's very simple to just say, this sign stands for, and I used to do that. I used to only use stands for. And if you do, I'm sure you will not be marked down. It is in the teacher directions. However, they will take this literally and stand up. So it's a whole nother can of worms you're opening up when you use the word stand, when it's in that place. So here's your sentence. When I see blank, I think of blank. I think Ava wants me. Our next slide is the last vocabulary word, and it is capital. So I circle, capital, capital. Good. Can you read? China is a country with many people. The capital of China is Beijing. A capital is the main city. Main city of a country with most of the government offices. Tiananmen Square. I have the hardest time saying Tiananmen. I used to say Tiananmen. Tiananmen. I want to have them interact with the definition. The capital is the main city in a country with most of the government offices. That's the definition in the teacher directions, so I use it. That's the tool that's right in front of me. Don't overcomplicate it. You can read right off the screen and have them repeat. Make sure I have a prop or TPR. It's not just audio, because a lot of students, that definition meant nothing to them because you didn't have a visual to connect it to or a question to connect it to. This is slide 21, and your goal here is to cover landmarks, to cover natural, and to cover man-made. So I circle landmarks. Good. Can you read? They read. In China, there are many famous landmarks. If they make any errors, I correct and have them repeat. Can you read? A landmark is a place or a building that is famous and important for a country. Some landmarks are made by people and some are natural. You don't need to correct the entire sentence, just single words if they make errors. Now, I need to teach natural and man-made, so I'm going to circle yellow mountains. I have the student read, and then I teach. The yellow mountains are natural. Good. I circle the Great Wall. I have the student read. Yes. The Great Wall is made by people. Good. Now, if I have time, I could go over a couple more on that slide, but you never have time. So I go to the next one, which is an activity, and I'm going to model. I draw a line from the Great Wall to made by people. This is slide 22. Following along? Yes? The Great Wall is made by people. Good. Your turn. Yes. Good job. So they've drawn a line for terracotta warriors are made by people. I might say, what else is made by people? So I'm still using TPR. Remember, I don't want to make them feel babyish. I don't want to up in their face. My TPR is more gestures. And they'll do TPR as well. You'll notice they've picked it up. They'll do the actions along with you. And then I would say, what is natural? If they haven't drawn the lines, a lot of your students will do the activity and not say anything. So then I will say, I can't hear you. They love that. They laugh their heads off, and then they're like, oh yes, I need to say this sentence. Get them talking. I might ask an extension question like, have you been to the Great Wall? Or maybe I'll say, where do you live? And a lot of them will say, I live in Beijing. So these extension questions create conversation. They have now connected capital to where they live. Now they know, oh yeah, I live in Beijing. That is the capital where the most government offices are. So I'm making connections with those extension questions. The final slide, how do I teach the phonics? Soft C. Yes. C-E says S. C-I says good. Scent. Can you read? So I read the first one for them, for CE, and then I ask them to read the rest. I explain by just saying CE says, if you want to say k, k, to contrast the two, if you have an advanced student and want to show them k, CE, s. Your goal is just for them to see the letter CE and then practice it in context. So they're practicing reading those words. I don't need to over explain or go into depth on why, because English is confusing. I don't even know why. Why do we do that? Why English? Well, I might have a visual like this, or I might just circle on the screen. If I don't have a whiteboard, then that's okay. But make sure that you do have two props. My two props could be landmarks, which I forgot to show you, landmarks, and my hammer. And then I have my reward system. Now, I did not show you a reward system for this. For your reward system for older students, keep it simple. I have like a Christmas reward that I've been doing lately, and you want to introduce this at the beginning. There's not a slide that does reward system, so have something prepared. I know how it goes. I forgot to use mine the entire time I was going through that. So if you forget to use yours, it's okay. It happens. Just make sure you always give your students 5 stars unless it's a real big train wreck and they're really not listening, then maybe 4 stars. But I always give them 5 stars. In your mock class, there's no stars there. So that reminder's not there. And there's no slide on there for the reward system. So you really do have to make a note. Put a sticky tab on your computer. Reward system. I love this one. I'll say reindeer, Rudolph. Good job. Snowman. Do you know Rudolph? Cool. So I'm teaching them culture. I'm teaching them about Christmas while we go. This is an elf. Who is this? Do you know Santa? Yes. Do you celebrate Christmas? Awesome. That's a recent reward that I've been doing with my older students. I use these. A lot of times I do draw a picture. When you do a good job, I'll draw a line, okay? So as I draw a line, I might reveal a shark. That's a great shark. It looks like a dead fish. Or another thing that I'll do is I'll do a word. And a lot of times I do their name. When you do a good job, you'll earn a letter. You get to guess. What letter? And as they guess, I spell a word. These are things that I do in my own classroom. For your mock class, if you use like one that they already have, I use my spider web, I just draw a line as it moves. Just make sure it's not babyish, like, good job. It's, your spider is getting closer. Do you like spiders? Me neither. Ew. Bye. Goodbye. And bring the cutest prop into class. If you do use my referral, I would love to help you out. Shoot me an email here. I have a study guide that I'll send to you, and then some tips and some video links that go along with teaching this mock class. I can help you from any stage in the interview process, and I would be thrilled to be your go-to gal. Bye.